I'm going to present to you the Cameroon Hub. We are Disruptive IT Cameroon, or DITC, a Wada Cameroon Hub. Next, please. So our specialization is in agriculture and culture. I will note that I have been saying for a long time agriculture and IT. And as I've been working through these workshops, I realized that some things such as IT and education are kind of inherent parts about being a Wada hub, and therefore don't need to be specified, I guess, in the specialization, because that's something that we're really all doing. So I've been focusing more on talking about agriculture and culture. And what our hub is really about is finding IT solutions that incorporate Web3 technology for applications with a focus in those two areas. Next, please. All right, perfect. So in terms of our business model and revenue sources, we have two main operations. We have DITC, which is an IT company. Currently, we have several Catalyst-funded projects, which we are working through. In the future, these projects will be completed and will create their own revenue. That's part of it. But in addition to that, we will seek new projects, offer consulting, as well as offering training programs. On the other hand, we have our farm operation. So currently we are getting some income from crop sales, and we are also running a boutique, or a sort of food shop on the farm for our workers to buy food and little things. In the future, of course, we'll expand hopefully in our operations. One example of one of the IT projects we're working on is NF Trees, which will be a project that will benefit both farm and IT sides. In addition to that, we wanted to just mention on here our partnership with the Afulu Pan-African Library. We are starting to work a lot more closely with them. They have been doing monthly workshops with the youth, which we're trying to incorporate into some of our projects, such as Montelise, which is a platform aimed towards making learning fun, and the learning part of it being focused on African cultural learning, native languages, traditional mathematical techniques, etc. Next, please. Okay, so again, this slide, one of the big reasons that we have these slides is that I will be including this in my closeout report for Nurturing Roots. So we wanted to really showcase some of the different resources that we were able to acquire. Some of this is from before, but a lot is also from Nurturing Roots. Some things I will highlight that are new since last time. We were able to acquire a generator, which is a pretty big deal in terms of having a backup electricity, and that was a big part of the next phase of Nurturing Roots. So we're really happy to have that. And also the fact that our interns are almost completed with their training to become trainers. Next slide, please. So in terms of what's next for the Cameroon Hub, as I mentioned, our interns are wrapping up their training, so we'll be looking to assign a DITC trainer to each Wada Hub as a developer mentor. In addition to that, we are looking to launch our NF Trees this year. And of course, we'll continue to seek funding. In particular, we're focusing on the agriculture side of things to boost our agricultural activities. And that's all I have for today about the Cameroon Hub. Thank you everyone for listening. I will now pass it over to our next presenter.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. This is Laurentine from Burkina Faso, and I am from Incuba, a Wada hub in Bobo Dioulasso. Next slide. Okay, our specialization is not really English language, but we are into, I would just say, education, because it is not, we don't train people only in English, but we have other courses that we train people in. So I would say that we are into education generally, because we are soon going to start professional training with English as language of instruction here in Burkina Faso. So our mission is to produce and deploy game changers for Africa, and especially for the French West Africa, the French Africa. Yes, so our vision is that we believe that by breaking language and technology barriers, we can unlock the vast potential of French Africa's youth and enable them to shape a brighter future for their community, their nations, and the world. This is our vision. Please, next slide. So our business model, our current revenue sources are that we provide language services. So we teach English and French for now. And we also teach people how to use WordPress to develop websites, or to create websites. We also teach people video editing with Premiere Pro, and also audio editing with Audition. They are all products of Adobe. And we also offer translation services, digital marketing, and part of our revenue is also from the funds we receive from planting roots in Africa, the catalyst funding. And our future revenue is going to come from the fact that we are going to continue to expand our current services and even adopt new services, because we are receiving a lot of offer for collaborations from various associations and institutions. And we also hope to have other funding. So we are trying to apply for other fundings as well, so that we can be able to continue our operations here in Burkina Faso. Please, next slide. So our personnel, we have 10 members. We have the lead, that is me, bilingual. We have 2 English tutors. One came from Ghana and another one from Nigeria. The reason why we use native speakers is that we realize that when we take people who just learn English from their country, I mean, basically they are francophones, it is not, the immersion is not really effective, because when the students know that their teacher can speak French, they don't make any efforts. So when we have an environment where everybody knows that the teacher does not understand French, they make extra effort to follow, and it becomes very fast for them to learn. And we have testimonies here from people who are learning English, and from the beginning they could not even say anything, they could not even understand anything, but after a month or 2 they began to understand English because of our methods. Yes, so we have 2 of them, and we have an administrative assistant. He also serves as our accountant. Yes, we have recently recruited a communication manager. She's doing very well. Yeah, so what is next for us is that we are still seeking for funding to boost our ICM courses because we want it to really start big. And we are trying to even partner with some institutions that are already in place here. Because coming up with something totally new like this and standing alone, we might not be able to easily gain the trust of people. So we are planning to collaborate or partner with an institute here in Bobojula. So that is called ESFP. They also teach professional courses. And we are also trying to see if the consulate can give us a space in their premises to offer those classes in Ouagadougou. Because we believe that if we have such collaborations, we will gain credit very fast. I mean, people will trust us easily because of our association with those institutions.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And yeah, amazing work that Laurentine is doing. This is her way that she attracts people into Web3 and blockchain. And yeah, definitely one of the Wada superstars. So thanks. So is it? I think it's Goma.
Oh no, I got my alphabet
next.
wrong. Yeah, it's it's Boaz.
Okay.
Or is who's presenting today?
Yeah, hi. I'll be presenting the Goma Hub.
Okay,
Hey, Martin.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm Martin from Goma, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'll be presenting the Goma Wada Hub. Next slide, please. So our business model, the current source of our revenue is linked to a small public secretariat we are having at Isdale Grand Lac. This is helping us to be having some funds to be running small activities for the hub. We also have some Catalyst funded projects that we are working on from Fund 8, kind of 3 projects that have been funded, and we're working on them. So our future source of revenue, apart from what we are doing actually, we're going to try to increase more activities in agriculture and sell the NFTs from our Tidano project that is funded by Project Catalyst. So we also have a partnership with Easy Grand. This is our physical host. We almost use their space, sometimes electricity and connection, internet. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. So our specialization, we are in agriculture and environment, and the mission is like we want to use technology for social and environmental good to create opportunities for individuals to learn and innovate. And our mission is like we want to be a technology leader of the city of Goma, or the whole country, or whatever we can reach, by promoting the environment, agriculture, and education for the well-being of local community. So we also act in education, as it's mentioned in our vision, trying to educate people about blockchain, Web3, and how they can participate. Next, please. So our resources, personal, actually we are about 18 in the Goma Wada Hub with kind of 12 students, people who are learning programming, having some programming lessons, and Web3 enthusiasts. These are young students at the university that is hosting us. We are trying to have some sessions with them talking of Cardano, of Web3, and how these technologies can just solve our local problems in our community. So what is next? In next days, we will be launching our NF3 sales as we are still working on the project with planting trees. This is the activity we are doing currently. We are planting trees in those places with high risk of erosion and trying to record all those informations about location of trees, localization of trees, and the pictures. These things will help us to make our dynamic NFTs. So we'll also launch and enlarge our agricultural projects, and we will still be seeking funding to keep up boosting the hub's activity. And we also hope to organize one of these CIP 1694 workshops as we have already submitted. So I think this will be all.
Oh, Martin, thank you so much.
You're
It's great to see it all together like this.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I agree.
All right, and do we have Dan or Josephine with us?
Hello, everyone. We have Josephine.
All right, Josephine, take it away.
Okay, so my name is Josephine, and I will be presenting the Wada Hub, which is in Kinshasa. Next slide, please. So our specialization is the principle is the development of software solution. We develop mobile app, a web mobile app, and we are now, we have started last year with the development of blockchain app. So, our mission is to design and implement digital tools and resources, especially software, to enable automatic performing of certain tedious tasks. For tasks, it can be for B2B or B2C, but in a more extensive and remarkable way to provide effective solution to some given problem that our community faces using technology. And some of our problems that faces our community, there is the problem of having data in agriculture. We developed a project like that is there, and there is also platform for learning. We develop software in that way, and we also develop software giving data about pregnant women. They have their data monthly, and even after different birth, they can recover their data to make sure that they are following different information given by doctors. So our vision, we are looking forward to build the largest community of developers in Africa, a community of people willing to get the continent to live up to the area and the standard of technology. And we have a community of developers, and most of them are French developers. Some are in DRC, others are in Uganda, and now new one are coming from Kenya. Our ideal is in our logo. If you can see down there, down the right corner down, there is something like it's like a light. This thing, that light is the signification is to lead the community to brighter future with technology. And next slide, please. So this is our business model. Our current revenue sources is our services, software development. We do graphic design, IT consultancy, webmaster services, digital marketing, and the promotion of ICT. In the promotion of ICT, it's like we sometimes go in schools and make sure that the level of students are going up in technology. We do different coding science and stuff like that. We are expanding our services in Kenya this year, but we were in DRC and in Congo Brazzaville and also in Uganda. And this year we also hope to expand in Kenya. So our future revenue is going to be the development of application that integrate the Cardano blockchain. And on these interfaces here, right, it shows our community. That where all our developers and even other developers, they can be for other hubs. We even invited Goma Hub to be sharing knowledge about stake pool. This is gonna make our future to be better with blockchain, because we need everyone to share his knowledge there to make sure that our developers are getting much knowledge as possible to start building. Next slide, please. So our resources, we have 26 members from now, and those are intern. We don't count freelancers or consultants. So these 26 members are in Goma and in Kinshasa. Most of them are in Goma because it's our headquarters. And physically, these physically resources are only for Kinshasa. We have a conference room of 50 people. We have furniture, we have one big table and 3 chairs. Those chairs are for lead hub, which are in Kinshasa, but other people usually work in the conference room, and most of the time they work remotely. They just come if we have some physical meeting or things like that. We also have a whiteboard. And about our product and services, I didn't put all there because we have many products and many services. I just put links if someone wants to go through and see, but we have product in different sectors. We have product in education, like our forum of sharing knowledge. We have product in agriculture, an app which is connected to sensor and can help farmers have information about plants, about about different type of plant they want to make, and that product we work on with is there. And yeah, that's it. And our services are here. I've put the link and I talked about in the previous slide. Next slide, please. So what's next? Next for us, we want to create a stake pool to support Cardano integration in Africa. As I was saying, we need to be part of builders of app which integrates blockchain. We don't want to be in Africa. We don't just want to be the people who consume product coming from Europe or America. We also want to be part of the builders. That's why this stake pool, the money coming from the stake pool, will help us educate our developers, make sure they are ready to start building. And for this, that's why we came in Kenya. We are looking for supporters and investors for starting, make sure that this stake pool is starting very well. Thank you.
All right, Madam Afia, you're up.
Thank you. Josephine, well done. Today, I really enjoyed your presentation. Well,
Thank you very much.
I'm going to talk about the Accra Hub, the Ghana Accra Hub. Next slide. Our specialization is mostly currently in education. We educate and educate because we believe that education is all that we need. So our mission is to build an informed ecosystem for a sustainable future, to help especially the youth to work better together, trust one another, and build global solutions to global problems. Our vision is a world which any person can realize their full potential, regardless of where they are found, whether in Africa, whether in my village or in the capital. Next slide. Currently, our our revenue sources are mostly on Project Catalyst funded projects. But future, we will still be depending on project funding, but we want to add consultation. We want to build a crop of developers where we can do consultation. We'll be doing training and also be hosting events for people, and then explore NFTs as well. Next slide. With our resources, currently we have 8 team members working together. We have educationists, people who help with the education, bilingual assistants, French and English. We have graphics and branding group. We have added a developer and a web designer to our team who is really, really marvelous. He's going to help us rebrand our hub. We have governance experts, communication experts, and business management experts as well. Currently, we have 2 desk tables, a conference table, 12 chairs, a large meeting room, 2 office spaces, 2 speakers, 1 big screen, broadband internet. So office have 24/7 internet and individual laptops. Our plans is to move into a bigger space where we are going to do a rebranding in terms of name, logos, and everything. And we plan to call it, unless otherwise my developer advises, Blockchain Information Center. And again, a blockchain cafe, because the place is quite big and we are likely to attract people. So we want to turn into a cafe, and if even possible, where we'll be accepting crypto for the first time in Ghana. Services include education, training, consultation, and graphic designs. Next slide. So what's our next steps? Seek more projects to boost the hub's activities. Implement a regular blockchain learning program. Actually, this morning I was in a meeting with some guy from Germany who wants to actually help us with this so that we can set up a mentoring center as well. He will be bringing some laptops so that we can educate the youth. And then also explore new opportunities, new relationships, and new potentials. Might look at stake pooling for community growth and the multiple land use systems. When I say multiple land use systems, we are thinking about going into regenerative agri, recycling. And when I was talking to the guy, he was also interested in that. Case use studies, and he was thinking about sustainable projects. So if our collaboration with him goes on well, I think we'll get something good from his end. So this is the Ghana, it used to be the Ghana hub, but through our activities, we did a lot of activities, educational activities, both online and in-houses. And through that, we saw that there was an interest in the northern region. As such, one of our colleagues that we've been training decided to get a hub in the northern region. So now the hub I just talked about is Accra Ghana Hub, and then the next presentation is on the Ghana Northern. We've also created a Northern Hub. Next slide. So that's the person who started the Northern slide, who is called Jeremiah, was already into something, and through our programs he decided to get a hub there because a lot of people were also interested. They couldn't log on most of the time. He already had this Center for Technology, Education and Innovation Lab. So we are using the Narudu hub to also train people in education. And this, through the help of the Nurturing Roots Africa, there's been an office created. Next slide. We've been able to create an office there, and they are also going into IT to be a leading IT and a business hub in the region, recognized for our commitment to fostering entrepreneurship, innovation, digital skills training, and collaboration among communities. What I will say is, when he says the region, it's not just one region, but it's a whole about 3 regions together where his activities are concentrated. And his vision is to become a world-class, impactful, and innovative center that influences lives, societies in Ghana and beyond. Next slide. So the business modeling that we are adapting for the Northern Hub, it's a lot of personal financing is going into it. Proceeds from printing services and multimedia works. He already does printing t-shirts, logos, brochures, and other things. And then support, as I said, support from Nurturing Roots. Feature on, we are going to seek new projects, partnership, and sponsorship, and also charge for the IT training. Currently, he's doing a lot of IT training for free, but feature on, they are going to charge for it. Next slide. So the personnel that he had currently are IT educators, consultants, specialists, graphic designer, public and motivational speakers, educationists. The resources contains 5 desk tables, 11 chairs, a standard meeting room, a smart TV, a general purpose printer, and a t-shirt printer. Products and services, as I said, they print t-shirts, they do ICT training sections, multimedia works, graphic designing, general IT consultation, and they do a lot of charity works for the North. There are a lot of people who are in need there. So when he launches it, he goes around soliciting for funding from all of us to help people. He does blockchain meetups, and that's the link there. When you go there, you see a lot of things that he's been doing. Next slide. So what next? Yeah, we will all seek more project support and collaboration to boost the hub's activity. Yes, sometimes if he needs support, we from the Accra hub goes there to support him to do whatever he's doing. And Global also lends their support when the need comes. Acquire few more computers for training, acquire a large format printer that he can print bigger things, and then regularize the blockchain training programs in the hub. When people do really understand it, and now they will seek payment. It's been free for a while, but then when people really want to do it, we'll now charge to train them. So that is the 2 hubs that's currently running in Ghana. The Accra hub is the main one, which actually started for all the other hubs. And then now we've also have the Northern hub, which is up and going. So that is it from Ghana. Thank you.
Do we
Amazing.
have Binta with us? I don't know if I saw her in here. Well, you know what? I can talk briefly about her slides. Sure. So Senegal is one of our newest hubs. We just started working with them through Nurturing Roots, and even that was sort of more on a limited basis in terms of really one of the emerging hubs, starting to form a relationship together, support the work that they're already doing, and look at ways to really integrate them as a Wada hub. So Senegal, being in a Francophone country, they focus on French education in computer programming, specifically in emergent technologies, and specifically for the youth. So Binta has been working with high school students to include in different programs and also integrate into what we've been doing Wada-wide. Next, please. So in terms of their revenue sources, as I said, Nurturing Roots was how we connected. And before meeting us, they had some funding from Tezos blockchain, which had allowed them to start their initial education services. In the future, they're looking for obviously partnership and sponsors, as you see written here. Next, please. So their hub, what it looks like, they have 5 members. They're currently working in a classroom where they have a computer, a projector, a camera, and mostly the students are using tablets to learn on. And so far, their main activity is, as I said, the school clubs. We have Ron to talk to us about our other brand new hub in Sierra Leone. Ron, are you still here?
I'm still here. I
Brilliant.
just want to say how impressed I've been with all the previous presenters and what they've achieved. Mine is going to be slightly more back to basics and simpler. Bienvenue. I want to welcome you all to the Sierra Leone Wada Hub. I've titled it Kushe, which is one of those beautiful local words, which is a salutation as also a welcome and saying I appreciate you and I appreciate what you're doing. So myself, I'm a returnee. I was born here, I left when I was 6. I returned last year for the first time because someone was interested in me investing in a school that had suffered from the mudslide. And it meant that I would have to involve corporate finance and money, and I needed to get involved before I needed to get involved on the ground, see what it was that I was going to be asking other people to invest in. So I came back in March of last year, about a year ago. And to be honest, I was blown away by the beauty of the country. I've lived, luckily, pretty much all over the world. And this is one of the most naturally beautiful countries in the world. Let's go to the next slide, please. So my presentation today is going to focus on 2 main areas. One of them is education, and the other one is agriculture. I think this country, recently Time magazine actually recommended this as one of the most beautiful countries to visit in 2023. And the views that you see there is my project, my place I'm building in a very historic place called York, which is just naturally beautiful. So what I'm going to be presenting, I believe the mission of what we're trying to do is to use technology to empower, educate, and drive change within the country. I want to return to basics and actually teach people to fish so that they can be self-sustain and maintain and grow their own lifestyles. The vision is for education, for me, is the key. So we will teach them, and it's their future to take hold of and move on. I want to focus on vocational courses and question what the country actually needs. Because I've engaged with education at all levels, and most parents want their child to be a doctor, a lawyer, and the country produces enough of those, but very few people actually ask what the country actually needs. And I want to begin to focus on that. And as I said, we will start from a low base. I want to start up by piloting agricultural farms, basically, and need help financing that. Next slide, please. So currently, in fact, I don't know if you know the history of Sierra Leone, so let me just very briefly go into that. About 20 years ago, Sierra Leone sort of finally came to the end of a civil war, which devastated the country and displaced a lot of people. The poverty rates are pretty amazing, astonishing to look at. 40% of people in the city are below the poverty line, and that's 60% in rural areas. Investment in human capital is poor. There is, you can clearly see some of the issues. We are a massive importer of some of our staple diets like rice, beans, just things that I actually own a place in France, in southern France, in Provence, which is wine country. And the soil there is considered to be one of the most fertile in the world. We have the same soil here, that sort of red dust, everything grows. But why are we importing rice? Why are we importing the stuff we need to eat, the basic stuff? And I really want to go back to basics and start growing things, and with the help of other people, help to establish or pilot farms, and then begin to grow once the pilot is established, begin to move that around and grow other pilots as we move along. Currently, after the war, I was involved with about 10 other people in starting a school. In fact, initially we started an orphanage. That orphanage, then when the kids got to a certain age, it was obvious they needed to go to school, but there wasn't a local school that they could go to. So we started off building one classroom, and now we've got a fully fledged school of about 330 children. That's entirely funded by volunteers and some corporates. I was actually living in Spain at the time, and most of our money comes from Spain. I've started the initial work in creating a pilot for the farm, and that's entirely financed by me. I need help. So the future, the school, we've just built a library, and that library we want to turn into an IT center as well. All the computers they have currently is donated by me. We have about 5 laptops, a projector. I've got 2 more computers that I'm just configuring to take there, but I need more. We probably want about 20 computers. I'll go into specifics of what we actually need, but so that school is established. The farm, we've started the pilot, and if the picture behind you shows, initially, when I told them to clear the land and I went down, they'd actually just burnt everything that was there. And I literally said to them, you know, you can't do this. And from then on, all the fields that we've prepared, we basically have gone back to basics and, you know, chopped what we don't need and maintain what can sustain and continue. No slash and burn. Next slide, please. So in terms of the school, I'm looking for an IT lecturer and an IT support person. In terms of the farm, we're looking for laborers, admin staff. This is very much an inception in terms of the farm, very much an initial phase. For the school, physical things we need computers, laptops, we need IT books, we need projectors, we need broadband. We've actually invested in broadband, but if we can upscale that, it would obviously help greatly. The farm, we want things like manure, but natural fertilizers. We will start off by using hand tools, cutlasses, shovels. Some of those things I've already financed. And eventually we want to move to slightly more mechanization. We want to actually begin to educate people about how you bring your crops to market, how you get the best finance for it. If I talk to most people, they don't have bank accounts. They don't want to have bank accounts. And this concept of blockchain and Bitcoin, it's attractive, but right now it's way beyond whatever they will want to think about. So that's all down the future, but we can begin to plan and we can begin to teach people about how to be more effective in growing crops, in feeding themselves, and bringing their crops to market. Also, for the school, the products, we want to be able to do ongoing training. I was really interested in seeing how the levels of training that people are offering, and I'd be very much interested in seeing how we can collab with other Wada hubs to bring some of that expertise in-house when we're so ready, because I'm also working with the universities and other returnees, professionals from outside of the country. And at some stage, I'll be coming to you and saying, look, I need your help. Can you come and work with, FBC, one of the oldest university in Africa, or in Jala that I'm working with on planting trees. And these are things that I want to bring, but these are things that we will look at later on. And in terms of the farm, we want to work with modern farming methods. We want whatever we do to be sustainable, renewable, maintainable, and we want good financial management. It needs to make sense, and for people to begin to understand that if they put the effort in, there's a reward at the end of it, and there's a growth. They can feed their children, they can educate their children, and not depend so much on government and handouts. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much. Oh, I think there's one more. So what's next? Sorry. Yeah, my presentation, I've pretty much gone over this. So I want to work on 2 projects. I want to introduce IT into the curriculum of a school that we've already started. I want to work with agriculture, start a pilot of small sustainable farms, and quickly farms that will have quick yield, quick turnaround. We want to focus on crops like corn, like peanuts, things that we can generally grow within 3 months, and a variety of things, so that we're not misusing the soil. The soil needs to grow different crops because things put different nutrients back into the soil. And we need to work with our farmers, because a lot of this farming population have actually migrated to the city, and they've actually lost their skills in terms of being farmers. It was interesting because all of this came to me because in my land in Freetown, I tried to be sustainable. I tried to get people who worked for me to plant everything that we eat, and they didn't know how to. And these were people whose parents were farmers, and those skills have been lost. And it's a shame, but we need to go back to basics. And we need to teach people to fish, no more slash and burn. So thank you very much.